Hello lovely yoga students, and welcome to this week's video. This week is week 8 of our 11-week course. This week we are looking at the energy and the spirit of the fish, or more specifically the salmon. If you come to the lesson this week, Wednesday's lesson, then you will discover a bit more about the salmon. Anyway, so we're going to be working with quite a lot of flowing movements today, because obviously fish are very much about water. So we're going to be working with that it's a back bend, fish is a back bend. So we'll be working with back bends, but also front bends and side bends, because actually fishes do all sorts of different movements. So get into something comfortable. You don't need any props for today, mat, and I will meet you on the mat. So we're going to begin in seated position like this, and just make sure you're going to be comfortable. I'm sitting on a block to just help me to sit up straight, and we're just going to start as usual, hands gently resting on the body, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, and we're just going to tune into the breath. So gently breathing in and out through the nose, and allowing the body to drop. So on the exhale, just letting the body relax and drop, just landing into this little practice. Beautiful. So blinking open the eyes, we're going to take the hands out to the side and bring them up above the head. And we're going to take a little twist. So twist opposite hand to knee, twisting all the way around as far as you can go. And then on the inhale, we're just going to come all the way back up and go round to the other side. So we're going to do this with the breath a few times. So as you twist in as far as you can go, then inhaling back round, arms coming up and all the way back down. So a couple more each way, like that, breathing in as you come out, exhaling as you go out. Going as far round as you can go without pushing too far. One more of these. And then this time we're going to come back to the middle, arms above the head. Take one hand down to the side, and we're going to take so you can slide that hand out, taking a side bend as far as you can go, making sure the other hip stays on the ground, and then inhaling, coming up to the top and just going down to the other side. It might feel really different one side than it does the other. I know it does with me. So we're just going backwards and forwards again, working with breath, exhaling, going over to one side, inhaling, coming up to the top, exhaling down to the other. Making sure the sit bones stay rooted all the way through. Beautiful. So just imagining yourself, maybe we're being a reed now or something in the water, flowing along next to where the fishes swim. Last one this side. Then we're going to come up, back up to the top, and bring the hands down back onto the body. So from here, I'm going to turn around so you can see more clearly what we're doing. But so from here, still sitting in cross-legged or legs out front if that's more accessible for you, whatever's a comfortable seated position. And we're going to, again, a flowing movement. We're going to inhale, taking the chest and the midriff forward. So we're taking a little back bend here. And then exhaling, curling the tailbone under and the spine backwards. Inhaling forwards, exhaling backwards. So just working with your breath, going in and out of this spinal flexion and extension for a few times. Beautiful. So the head's kind of going back at the top of the inhale, but you're not cranking the head back, just gently. Beautiful. And then coming back to the centre, and we're going to just take the arms out behind, resting the hands on the ground, doing the same thing, but we've got the hands behind us to help. So pushing the chest forward and the tummy forwards and the head into kind of looking up. And then as we exhale, bringing the hands all the way forward to land in front of us. So we're taking a front bend, a forward fold, coming back all the way over and going back again, back bend, and all the way. So we're going to do that once more each way. So really going down as far as you can. So inhaling, pushing the heart and the abdomen forward, exhaling, and this time we're going to land here. So just landing here, breathing here for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to walk the hands over to one way. And just stop there for a moment, breathing. And then we're going to walk the hands all the way to the other side, so going all the way over. Again, it will feel really different on one side to the other. This is partly to do with the cross of the legs. And then coming back to the centre, we're going to sit up. We're going to do the same thing, but what we're going to do is we're going to take the legs out wide. So it might be that your wide is that, and that's absolutely fine. My wide isn't very wide. Just going as wide as you can. We're going to do the same thing, starting in the middle with the hands forward. You can't see my hands, but just in between your legs. And then from here, just walking the hands over to one side. Feels quite different doing it with the legs outstretched, going over the other way. And then just coming back and doing it once more on each side. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to come up to kneeling. And I'm going to show you, pad your knees if you need it. I definitely need it. I've got a bit of a dodgy knee. So definitely pad the knees if you need it. So we're coming up to high kneeling, and we're going to have the toes tucked, okay? What we're going to do from here is we're going to take the hands out behind, and I'm not encouraging anybody to try and reach their heels at the moment. You're just coming backwards with the hands coming backwards, and just seeing if you can take a little bit of weight into the toes, looking up but not cranking the head. This is a sort of half camel or a sort of semi-camel here, bit of a back bend, breathing here. And then we're going to join fingers, so interlace the fingers, and then we're going to come forward into a forward fold here. You can put your head down onto the ground, arms up, coming into a little bit of a rabbit here. Then we're going to come back, do the same thing, so flowing backwards into our semi-camel. So you should be feeling this here. And then interlacing the fingers, maybe interlacing the other way, and coming down into this forward fold, little bit of a rabbit. We'll do that once more, and if you feel like you can maybe just touch the back of the heels with one hand, or even do it with both, but don't push. And then again, coming forward into our forward fold. Bit of a rabbit. Lovely, well done. So let's just have a little bit of a roll of the shoulders just to counter what we've just been doing. Lovely. And then we're going to come up into the cat. Okay, and we're just going to do a couple of cat and cows. If you need a block, use it. Inhaling, looking forward, taking the spine to the floor. Exhaling, taking the spine to the ceiling. So flowing with your breath for a few goes. Okay, and then we're going to just come forward and dropping down into the Sphinx. So taking the elbows underneath the shoulders, hands in front of the elbows, tops of the feet down, And we're just going to be here for a moment, so just looking between the thumbs and breathing. Feeling as you breathe in, the abdomen move towards the floor. As you breathe out, navel moving towards the spine. So just trying to be with this for a moment. Lovely. So now we're going to take the hands back, bring the forehead onto the ground. So you've got the hands by your sides here. Trying to take as little weight into the hands as you can, and coming up, bringing head and shoulders up into a cobra, and then exhaling down. So some people like to exhale on the way up and then inhale down. Some people like to do it the opposite way. So just see what feels good for you. Again, we're flowing with this movement like a fish, imagining ourselves being a fish, swimming through the water, flowing with the shape. Wonderful. So now we're going to roll over onto our backs, and we're going to do something else from here. We're going to do banana pose, which we're calling fishy pose in this instance. So bringing the hands up above the head, interlacing, or just taking hold of one wrist or interlacing the fingers, whatever you want to do. And then what we're going to do is we can just lift the hips and just take them slightly over to one side, and then take the feet back down and cross the side that you've taken out to side, cross that foot over the other ankle. Yeah. And then you can just slightly move the top of the body over the other way, but we're trying to stay anchored and flat this way. Yeah. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. This is banana pose, but it could also be a fish going round a corner. So a couple of breaths here. Lovely. And then we're going to come back, bring the feet back into the centre, take the hips over to the other side of the mat, take them back down to the opposite corner, cross over the other leg, and then, and then I've gone back the other way, so trying to take the shoulders back over this way, and then just breathing and being with this. So it may be that you want to stop the video here and spend a bit more time in this pose. It's really quite an interesting pose, but we're going to come out of it now. So as I say, you know, you're always welcome to, obviously, do whatever you like, but you're welcome to stop the video and just spend a bit more time in any pose that you're interested in. So as a little bit of a counter to that, we're just going to come up and do a downward dog. So hands slightly in front of the shoulders, tucking the toes and just lifting the hips up, keeping the legs a little bit bent and breathing here. Beautiful. So from here we can take opposite heels down. So as we're bending one knee, we're straightening the other one, taking the heel down to the ground. And then we're going to come into a pigeon, which seems a bit of an odd thing to do for a fish, but you will understand in a minute. So I'm going to raise the right leg and then bring that knee all the way through to be next to this hand here. I should have maybe done the other side first, but anyway, you can see that's my hand. My knee is right next to it, and I'm going to just walk backwards with this foot and try and have my hips straight up here. I'm not bringing my foot very far over. Some people can do it like that, but I think it's a bit weird. So anyway, but that's just because my body doesn't work like that, and everybody's different. So raising up from here, so this is into a proud pigeon, and it's a nice back bend, which really helps with fish. So breathe a couple of breaths here. Then we're going to just come down into a little bit of a forward bend, dropping the head down. Take a moment there. Then we're going to raise back up and we're going to bring this hand, which was next to this knee, and we're going to put it kind of like in front of the body here. And this is where I'm going to invite you to see if you can lift this back knee. So this is going to work on these muscles there. Yeah, and then only if you want to, taking this hand out to see if you can grab hold of that foot and doing a little twist round. So this is a mermaid. So fish, mermaid, I mean, you know. So we're just having a little bit of a go there. Beautiful. And then coming back round, we're going to go up to the dog again. And again, just walking out the feet for a moment. And then maybe having a little bit of stillness for a while. Then we're going to raise the left foot and bring this knee through. Now I have to be much more careful on this side because my knee's a little bit dodgy. So I'd hardly take my foot out at all, because if I do it really hurts my knee. So I just take it to where I can, even that is not right. I have to be really careful and take it to a place where I'm not feeling any pain. And once I'm not feeling any pain, then I'm fine. So it's actually almost right underneath me. And this is the thing, we have to really listen to the body, do what's right for us. So from here, raising up into this fishy back bend. A couple of breaths here. Then we're going to drop over into our forward bend. Again, you can take more time if you want to in any of these poses. Then we're going to raise up again, take this hand in front of the body. See if we can lift that back knee, leg even, foot. And then just see, I'm bringing my hand on the inside of that foot, which is the sort of official way of doing it. You can do it that way if it's easier. So just going to where you can, and then we're just twisting round to see if we can look somewhere at the foot. This isn't the full mermaid, by the way. This is a modified mermaid. The full mermaid I couldn't possibly do. Okay. So, lovely. So, there's a few more things that we will be doing in the class that I haven't got time to do here, but anyway, so we're going to move on to working a little bit with the actual fish pose itself now, and some of the other things. So, but we're going to start by coming into a seated position like this. Okay, hands out behind, right? And this can be quite a challenging pose, this one. So only do it as much as feels okay. I've got my hands pointing towards my body, feet out like this, and I'm going to literally just try and lift my hips, just lifting my hips up. So, you know, I can go to about there. It's quite challenging. I wouldn't stay there for too long. Some people can get right up and stay there. You know, I'm really not very flexible, so for me it's really quite a challenging thing. So just working with what works for you. Coming back up and coming back down. And we can do it again. So it's a bit of a flow. So it may be that you're only coming to there, and that's absolutely fine. Just come to where works for you. Lovely. So the next thing we're going to do, this is quite hard on the hands as well, so do look after yourself. Next thing we're going to do is a bit more challenging, which is to have the feet out in front, pointed. We're going to do the same thing, but from here. So lifting the hand, actually it's not as challenging, is it? So lifting the hips up from here and coming down. So in fact that's easier. For some reason I thought it was going to be harder. Okay. Right, so then what you can do now from here is to lift the hips up and then take the head back. That makes it a little bit more challenging. So you can work with that a little bit. And then finally, the last pose that we're gonna do is the fish. So we come and lie down on the back, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your hands, I don't know how much you can see me, but bring your hands so they're behind the body, and you're gonna try and lie down. Now you can either do this by having them there and lying down, or you can bring the hands out and lie down first, and then lift the hips. Put the hands underneath the body like this. So I've got my elbows as close as I can get them, taking the feet out. So my elbows are really close. My hands are underneath my body with the palms facing down. And from here, I'm literally just going to bend my elbows, keep my head on the ground, or just raising. So the top of my head is just floating onto my ponytail here. So this is the fish. Yeah, so my bottom is on my hands. I've just raised up my shoulders, bent my elbows, and then I can come back down. Doing that once more, so just raising, bending the elbows, coming up, and I'm looking behind me here. Wonderful. So as a little counter to this, before you go into relaxation, just bring your knees up over the chest and just rock a little bit from side to side. And then I would suggest taking hands out to either side, feet down to the ground, just doing a little supine twist, so the knees go over one way and then back to the top and over the other way. Beautiful. Then take your feet out to mat width, arms down by the sides with the palms facing up, closing the eyes, and just allow yourself to be. So stay here for as long as you like. Don't feel like you have to get up. And hopefully I'll see some of you on Wednesday. If you're not coming to the lessons and you'd like to donate to me, and you're receiving, which you will be receiving this. Oh, you might be receiving it. You might be getting it on YouTube now. But anyway, hopefully there's some way that you can do that if you want to. All right, thank you very much for following my video.